former President Uhuru Kenyatta has urged the youth to continue fighting for their rights. The former head of state said the young generation is the future and must raise their voices to be heard. He was speaking on Friday during the burial ceremony of his cousin Kibathi Muigai in Ichawere, Gatundu South in Kiambu County. Bushebi Jr. prepared that story. Have a look.
God is good all the time. And all the time.
Former President Uhuru Kenyatta has urged the young generation to come out boldly and fight for their rights. Uhuru on Friday said the youths commonly known as Gen Z, including his daughter Ngina Kenyatta, should not just sit around and let what they toiled for be taken away. Speaking at the burial of his cousin, a veteran rally driver Kibathi Muigai, Uhuru said unfortunately many people have become afraid of defending what rightfully belongs to them.
If there is anything any one of us can do for you, please never hesitate to ask. Never for a minute. And I must say I was very proud of that young man who introduced his larger clan of miners and committed himself to continue the fight that his father had started. Father was a warrior. Shida ya watu siku hizi, everybody ana sijui mumeogopeshwa, sijui even you gena naona rudi uingie hii majenzi, nyinyi ndio the story of the future.
His sentiments come barely a month after President William Ruto paid him a courtesy call at his Ishaweri home in Gatundu.
Thank you, my friend. Thank you. Asante. Thank you for nyama.
Uhuru said everything is worth fighting for, and if you don't fight for it, then don't complain when it is taken away. While promising the Gen Z's full support, Uhuru said the young people have the energy to push for a better society and must be encouraged.
Fight for your rights, bwana. Sio kukakaa hapo waka hapo mambo mali yenu ichukuliwe na nini, mumeitolea jasho. Msikubali. Pambaneni, muhakikishe mumepata haki yenu. Mnasikia nyinyi? Sio kukakaa hapo tu. Kuna kitu inadumu. But everything is worth a fight for. If you don't fight for it, ikienda mtu asilie. Msimame mupiganie haki yenu. Na mko na hawa watoto wamebaki ambao wako tayari kupigania haki yao. Waungane pamoja nanyi. Can't just stand there and let people take your hard-earned sweat. Dunia iendi namna hiyo. Muwe watu ambao hawataogopa, wataishi kama my friend. Ameenda detention, si alitoka na akaendelea na maisha. Hata nyinyi teteeni haki ze. Sio kukaa tu munaogopa. Kuogopa sasa ni sisi tutulie sisi. Nyinyi ndio mko na nguvu ya kupambana na hii watu. But we are behind you. Muendelee namna hiyo.
Uhuru's remarks come amid public outcry over an increase in the number of abductions as the government fights its critics. Several people have been reported missing or kidnapped. In December last year, at least 6 youths were reportedly abducted, including those behind the production of viral memes. The uncoordinated response to the abductions by President Ruto and his allies has exposed the Kenya Kwanza administration as a government with many faces in times of national crisis.
We can't have dialogue without justice. Yes. We can't have dialogue without knowing how David died. Yes. We can't have dialogue without compensation. Yes. So before they say, I want to talk to the Gen Zs, you need to acknowledge that your government killed its young people. Yes. Number one. Number two, you need to apologize to those families. Then you can talk about dialogue. But there can never, ever be dialogue without justice.
The apparent justification of kidnappings by, among others, Senate Speaker Amason Kingi, National Assembly Speaker Moses Wetangula, National Assembly Majority Leader Kimani Ichung'wah, and other government defenders such as National Assembly Minority Leader Junet Mohammed continues to show another side.
Even as the debate is raging on public, on social media and anywhere, there is no government policy. Neither is there a police service policy, neither by the command of the police nor the ministry itself for abductions in the republic. There is nothing like that. What IG said, what the team said, we do not have such a policy. Our national police service is a police service of law and order, and we will expend every resource that is before us to make sure that we apprehend criminals and we make sure that our country is a country that lives in law and order. And IG, just to say this, because of the context of what I've told you, even the discussion we have here of misuse of the computers and social media and digital space, thank God we have a cyber laws in this country. And it is very clear, if disorder moved from manual, because we moved from being manual to becoming digital, and if the criminals and people with bad behavior have moved from being manual to the digital space, I want to tell them we will follow you there.
At the same time, a third wing has emerged comprising government officials such as Public Service Cabinet Secretary Justin Muturi and President's senior advisor Moses Kuria, who are nauseated by the continued abduction of government critics.
Has said that they are not involved in the abductions, but interestingly, they have failed to stop them, as they are happening in full public glare. The President has equally said that he would want to see the abductions end. Kenyans want to know how many of our youths have been taken in since the abduction started, how many have been released, how many are still being held, and where it is that they are being held. In my view, the government cannot be excused for abdicating its duty of protecting the lives and property of the people of Kenya. I note that after my statement in Embu on Friday last week, a number of the youths that had been abducted and held in Communicado have been released.
Propaganda kusema iko watu wamekuwa abducted na hii kitu imeendelea, lakini rais hakuna kitu kama hiyo. Hii ni propaganda ya kutaka kuharibu jina ya serikali, jina ya nchi yetu na jina yako kama rais.
But of course I imagine, because it has been said it is not government, then we need to deal with those ones who are doing those things. So it's not possible for me to keep quiet merely because I sit in cabinet. And I explained that I am fully conscious of the doctrine of collective responsibility of cabinet. But when you are a victim at a personal level, you also have a life, you have rights under the same constitution that brings in the doctrine of collective responsibility to speak out. I have not spoken until I feel that things are getting out of hand.
Uhuru's remarks also comes barely hours after cabinet secretaries allied to him were sworn in by President William Ruto at State House, Nairobi. Newsroom, Maisha TV, Bushabi Jr.